Hello and welcome back to Sex. It's raining here in Cleveland. Could be a sloppy, messy game. You see the Browns coming out onto the field. Bills are already out there. Bills are in last place. Browns are in first place. And we're in Cleveland, so all indications are that the Browns will win this game relatively easily. So you know what that means in Sack to the Future. Most likely it'll go down to the wire. At least that's what we hope for here. Close games, of course, are more exciting for all. James Harris gets another start, 42 out of 65 so far, 472 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Backup roll. Harris 1-1 in his start so far. Handoff to O.J. Simpson. He gets a few yards. Here's the offensive line for the Bills. Young, O'Donnell, Jarvis, Carr, and Green. Should be used to them by now. O.J. Simpson and Wayne Patrick in the backfield. Briscoe and Haven Morris are the wide receivers, and Ted Coy. One of the two tight ends, the other one Jan White. Both used almost evenly. There's a pitch out to O.J. Simpson. He gets a few more yards, so 2 carries to O.J. and about 7 yards total. Here's the line for the Browns. Jones, Walter Johnson, Jerry Shirk, and Jack Gregory. In the middle is Dale Lindsey. Jim Houston and Billy Andrews are the outside backers. Your corners are Ben Davis and E. Rich Barnes. Mike Howell and Sumner are the safeties. Eric Barnes has been around for a while. Ex-Bear and longtime Brown at this point. Still getting it done. Patrick getting it done on that play. Gets a first down. So the Bills offense 2 weeks ago when Harris got his first start really lit up the stat book with a bunch of yards. Got the win. Last game came way back down to earth. Actually a below average offensive output, but Harris still gets a start for the third to see how this offense really looks under him. Is it like it was 2 weeks ago where they're exploding with the yardage and points, or was it like last week where they couldn't do much of anything? It's a handoff to Jones. He gets a big hole, and he gets close to the first down. So right now it's looking more like it did 2 weeks ago. Although Harris is not doing much with his arm, it's all the running game. Now, you've been following along. You know the story. The Bills suffered a lot of injuries in the backfield. Harris is going to take off and run. He gets across the 30, 25, and down to the 22-yard line. 14 yards for Harris. But O.J. Simpson hurt on the second play of the game. Put Jones into action. Jones got hurt a couple weeks later. That put Braxton, the rookie, into action as the starting running back for a while. Patrick's been there the whole time, so he's always been sharing the load, but his partner has changed from game to game. Well, now they're all healthy. So now Simpson, who's their best running back, and Jones, who's a very quality backup, are both still there. Braxton's not really a rookie anymore with the amount of playing time he got. And then Patrick, of course, has been the constant. But you have 4 guys that know what they're doing back there. And the Bills will spread the carries around. This time they go back to Jones, and he gets another 4 yards, 5 yards. 3rd and 6th. Browns need to stop. Browns have been playing very well lately. They've won 4 out of the last 5. There's Harris is going to run, get the first down, get inside the 10, down to the, I thought he was farther than that, but they say down at the 9-yard line. Impressive drive for the Bills so far. They've taken already the first 6 minutes off the clock, and they still have the ball. 1st and goal. Harris spins, fires across the middle. Incomplete. That was Harris's first attempt as he has scrambled. Whether they've been called that way or he just decided to take off, he has not thrown a pass until that last one. Now play action pass, looks like he's going to throw again. But there to greet him is the Cleveland Browns with the sack. Even the Bills were holding. The left tackle was holding, but the right tackle did not. And, of course, let his guy come in and sack Harris. So that's going to be a declined penalty. Now we have 3rd and goal from the 19. Harris floats it over the middle. That was only going to get half the yards anyways, but it ends up falling to the ground. Maybe slipped out of Harris's hand. It's a wet ball, wet field. That's only going to contribute more to the ineffectiveness of the passing game, which most teams have suffered from. Kick is up, and it is good. So the Bills once again take the lead. See the Cardinals taking the lead against the semi-pro team, 3-0. This is week number 10, 9th game being played for most teams. Some teams, like the Cardinals, are playing their 10th game. So the scores on the bottom getting ever more important as teams try to decipher who's going to make the playoffs. Here's Bill Nelson, 1 touchdown, 6 interceptions, 624 yards. You see he's right, just slightly over 50%. Bill Nelson was actually under 50% and everything until last week. Was the player of the week in the AFC last week. So if you thought those numbers looked bad, just think what they were before his game last week. Of course, the Browns were struggling. Here's the offensive line. Sheriff, Damari. Okay, I was thrown off there. Brown and Kelly in the backfield. Pitts and Hooker are the receivers. And Milt Morin is the tight end. Sorry about that offensive line. But a couple old Browns on there. The other guys, hopefully you can go back and pause it. Take a look at who the starters are. I don't have the computer open or anything. Cowlings, Dunaway, Tederick, and Snowden are the defensive line. Edgar Chandler in the middle, Paul Guytree, Mike Stratton. You know the names by now. Safeties John Pitts and Pete Richardson, Alvin Wyatt, and Robert James are the corners. I was going to say the story of the Browns season. They started off kind of slow, couple went, couple up, couple down, and Bill Nelson was not getting it done at all. They went to Mike Phipps for relief, and he kind of lit a spark. Despite being the lower rated quarterback, if you put your stock into overall ratings of Madden, he was rated lower, but just the team played better around him, and then that kept going. He kept winning games. His numbers were better than Nelson's in every way: touchdown, interception ratio, completion percentage, all that. But then Phipps got injured, so now we're back to Nelson. And Nelson maybe learned something while on the sidelines watching Phipps, because he played his best game of the season last week. Bills, there's a handoff to Jones. Not much. You see Atlanta and New Orleans playing later. That is for first place in that division. And then the two teams in the NFL that are 8-1 will play each other. So the winner will be, hands down, the best record in football. The only other team with 1 loss is the Dallas Cowboys. They will play the Sunday night matchup. There's James. He's going to run again, slows it down, then speeds it back up and slides to avoid the big hit. Figured in the first quarter it was not worth putting his head down and trying to get the first down. See, the Chargers beat the Raiders, so that makes things tight at the bottom of that division. Chargers at 4-6 now. Raiders fall to 4-5. Marty Domres has done a good job while Hadel's been out, keeping the Chargers relatively in it. They easily could have just gone off to the wayside and been at 2-8 now and out of it. But he's won a couple games as the starter, and Hadel coming back probably right after the bye week in 3 more weeks. There's Nelson's going to run for it. He gets across the 45, does take a hit. Takes a pretty sizable hit there, and with Phipps already out, I don't even know who the third string or emergency quarterback is, but I think it is just that. I think it is an emergency quarterback, which means they'd have pretty much no passing game if Nelson gets hurt. Leroy Kelly last week, 14 carries, 66 yards. On the year, he has 632 yards. Only 3 touchdowns, though, so That's not a bad season so far, about halfway through. You know, he's on pace to hit maybe 1,200 yards and 6 touchdowns. Definitely not a bad season. But Leroy Kelly's one of the guys that you can say that might be a disappointing season for. Leroy Kelly, one of the stars of this league at the running back position. And the Browns need him to do a little bit more. There's a pitch out, and there's a huge gain across the 40, 30, 20, 10. Touchdown. Well, hey, if Kelly's not getting it done, give it to Brown. Huge run for Kevin Brown. And he puts the Browns on top. Well, the Browns, since they've come to the NFL, they have always done one thing well, and that is run the ball. Of course, Jim Brown made this maybe the greatest of all time. And now they have another Brown, Kevin Brown, getting a big run there. Leroy Kelly bridging the gap. Bo Scott's had some nice plays this year. Of course, Marion Motley back in the day. Always count on the Browns to have a ground game, and this season is no different. The Bills, although not as successful as the Browns in Sack to the Future history, still you can always count on some things from them. One of those is usually a pretty solid defense. The other is they like to play close games. You saw that graphic just a second ago. Both teams are at exactly 70 offensive yards. Oh, man, O.J. Simpson went to turn upfield, which is what Harris was predicting, but he slipped. And then the ball dangerously just floated out there with the only guy that could make a play was the Browns linebacker, but he couldn't get there in time. There's Jones getting his second sack on Harris, so 2 sacks already in the first quarter. Jones is feeling it today. And the Bills will have to punt. The crowd making replicating dogs in the crowd. A bunch of barking by this insatiable crowd. Bill Nelson.
Let's go. 70, Indy.
Well, he is the man. He was the man at the beginning. Kind of lost his job to Phipps. Phipps got hurt. He's back in and actually won Player of the Week last week. So his teammates seem to be fully behind him. The Browns, after a sluggish start, really turned it around. Ripped off 4 wins in a row at one point. Got themselves into first place, and they currently are sitting atop the division, the AFC North. And there's Nelson finding a nice play down to Pitts, a 20-yard completion. And the Browns are on the move again. Turning the give to Leroy Kelly, and he just doesn't get much. Semi-pro chief from Tampa Bay has come back and tied the Cardinals. There's Brown, and he gets stopped this time in the electrifying first run. That one much worse. And will they call another play before the end of the first? They will not. So we go to the second quarter with the Browns on top of the Bills here from Cleveland. 7-3.
Here we go. 10-2 stop. 6-man. Check curls. Down.
Nelson back to pass. He's waiting for someone to get open. Now he tucks it. He's going to run. Takes a hit across the 35 down to the 33-yard line. That's going to set up about a 50-yarder. In the rain, they say no thank you. They're going to play. Probably a smart decision. 50-yarders hard in 71. 50-yarders in the rain in 71. Probably impossible. Nelson, though, gets caught by Dunaway, who takes him to the ground. Nelson thought he saw a hole there, but waiting for him was Dunaway. who tackles him short, and the Bills take over right there. Bills take over at the 30-yard line. Harris will turn. He'll give it to Patrick, who's had 3 carries for 20 yards so far. Harris now back in the shotgun. Total yards very close, game very close, but Buffalo has not thrown for any yardage yet. Here's a short completion. Harris's first completion, good for only 2 yards. 3rd and 5. Harris fires downfield. He's got a man. Oh, no. Moses, who's been a very good receiver so far this year, there was no reason to do this, but he sort of spun himself out of bounds. I guess it was a little bit underthrown, but if he could have just stopped his feet and caught the ball, there was no one around him. He had time. He should have just stopped, caught the ball, and fell out of bounds, whatever it takes. Instead, he thought maybe he could slow down, catch it, and still have some momentum to go forward, I guess. Ended up losing balance and stepping out of bounds. It's a play you got to make. Even Moses knows that. Bills punted into the end zone, so the Browns take over at their own 20. Bengals take the lead against a semi-pro team. So the Browns know that the Bengals, who are the team that's in second place, get a semi-pro team on their schedule. So basically you have to assume the Bengals are going to win that one. So the Browns kind of need to win this one. Bills are certainly harder than a semi-pro team, but they are a last place team. So it is still a game they expect to win. Play action pass. Nelson gets hit as he throws, but completes the pass. Out to Pitts again. Nelson 4 of 6. There's a handoff and a huge first down for Leroy Kelly. Best run of the day for Kelly. The Bears are finally on the board. You saw that on Sack to the Future. But if you forgot, the scores will be on the bottom right now. The Lions lead the Bears 7-3. I think I saw on the tracker down below that the semi-pro team in Tampa Bay actually has the lead against the Cardinals. The one thing you can't do, I mean, the semi-pro teams, of course, are there for easy wins, like the Bengals are doing 6-0. You don't want to lose to one of them. Brown up to 69 yards now on 4 carries. He's kind of stealing the show in a game that has Leroy Kelly and O.J. Simpson in it. It's Kevin Brown who's leading all running backs. The Browns have to be close to, if not already over 100 yards on the ground. Like I said, the Browns known for having a history of excellence when it comes to running the football. And there's Kelly gets taken down for a short gain, 3rd and 4. There's a pitch out, and the Bills do a nice job getting off their blocks and stopping Brown right at the line. And the Bills will come out. They will attempt this one because it's inside of 40 yards. In the rain, though, everything's still interesting. Crowcroft puts it home. The Browns extend their lead to 10-3. Jones on the return gets out to the 28-yard line. See the Packers in a close game with their semi-pro team. So some semi-pro teams being tough here in week number 10. Not the usual 30-0 blowouts. In fact, in Tampa Bay, semi-pro team actually has the lead. Now, every semi-pro team is either in dead last or second to last, and they're only in second to last if they're in a division with another semi-pro team. So they are where they belong. None of them are going to make the playoffs or anything. But their Super Bowl, if you will, is beating real teams if they can ever beat one. We actually did have one earlier this year. I think it was the Ravens beat the Steelers. And that is the reason the Bengals are in second place instead of the Steelers. Because the Steelers let that quote-unquote easy win against the semi-pro team get away from them, and they lost. Bills will punt again. So it's beginning to look more and more like maybe it was just Harris magic for the one game. We'll see what happens. There's still more than a half to go, but
Come on, set. 10 logo.
I don't know. The both Shaw and Harris are young, so there's no. You can't make a decision based on age. Say, well, we got to go with the kid and just let him figure it out. They're both kids, so it's a very important call. Even if the Bills lose this game, they will drop to what? 2-7-1, I think. Do they have 2 wins or 3 wins? I think they only have the 2. I think they're 2-6-1. So the Bills are probably already out of it. If they lose this game, then they're definitely out of it, short of a miracle coming back and winning the division, but they're probably out of any kind of wild card. But you still have important things to do. You have to get the call right of who your quarterback's going to be. Is it Shaw or Harris? Their quarterback ratings are about the same, although Shaw has attempted twice as many passes. Oh, there was some tight coverage there. And the Bears have come back to tie the Detroit Lions. They're in Chicago. The battle for New York, that was also on this channel. All right, now you see the Giants leading the Jets 10-3.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
James Harris turns, hands off to O.J. Simpson. He gets taken down after a gain of 1. 4 carries, 11 yards. Harris will hand off again, this time to Jones. He gets a couple. It's a sloppy game. It seems like it's just going to be running on both sides. But here's Harris going to go to the air. Pretty good protection, and he delivers a nice ball to Coy. He's completed 2 passes, both to his tight end, Coy. Bengals add another field goal. They're up now 9-0 on the semi-pro team. It's the 2-minute warning here from Cleveland. Cleveland winning in front of their home crowd by a touchdown. 4 wide receivers. The Bills spread it out. Harris from the shotgun. And he's going to take off and run. Oh, he slowed down to try to make a move, but Houston would have nothing of it. Tackled him. Hand off to Jones. He gets a block and fights his way up near midfield. Short of the first down, though. Bills going no huddle now. 3rd and 1. They're saving their timeouts. Harris is going to turn and run. Can he outrun? No, he cannot. The angle got him. And that's going to count as a sack. So the Bills will see the Browns burn their first timeout. But the Bills will have to punt. Bills, I believe, got the ball to start the game. If you were around at the beginning, correct me if I am wrong. But I believe the Bills got the ball, so the Browns get to do whatever they do here and then turn around and get the ball to start the second half. Now, you don't want to throw an interception. At the very least, you would like to just run out the clock and make sure you have the lead when you get the ball to start the second half. There's a quick throw. That's a better option by Nelson. And now the Browns call their second timeout. Rain is coming down even harder, it looks like. We haven't seen too many slips. That one slip by O.J. Simpson was probably the worst one that we've seen so far. There's a quick short pass to Kelly. Gain of 4. Nelson. Just back. Fires downfield to the sidelines. That's caught by Pitts just across midfield. The Browns have one timeout. They can use the middle of the field, but if they do, they'd want to get a chunk play, 15 yards or more. Nelson fires, completes, hoping to get out of bounds. He does, so there you go. Pick up somewhere between 7 to 10 and get out of bounds, or you go for the 15 over the middle. Still both options on the table. You still want to waste your time out on a short play, so if you're going middle, at least go a little bit downfield. Nelson going to get sacked. That's the worst case scenario for the Browns. Now they have to use their timeout here. They're still not in field goal range, and now he kind of takes the middle of the field away. If they go middle of the field, it'd be questionable if they have enough time to down it. Nelson in trouble, gets rid of it, complete short. This is a disaster unless Kelly can make a lot of Bills miss. He only makes one Bill miss. That's not enough. And now the Browns probably just let this go. Yep. No reason to hurry and do something crazy like turn it over. So the Bills, with good tackling there at the end, stop the Browns from getting any more points. You see that at the half, the Browns have more rushing yards and much more passing yards. Neither team has turned it over. And the Browns will indeed get the ball to start the second half, up 10-3.
Let's go, fellas.
Browns offense comes back out. What is going on? That semi-pro team in Tampa Bay has scored again. They're now up by 10 points on the Cardinals, 13-3. Oh, I forgot about the Rams. There's 4 teams that have only lost one game. One of those is, of course, the Los Angeles Rams. They are in action later against the Steelers. Flash pass, Nelson going to the air again. Incomplete. There was a Brown slipped on that play. Nelson recognized it, I think, before he got rid of it and just threw it to the ground, or if he would have threw it on target where the receiver was supposed to be, that would have been picked off. There's a completion to Kelly. Oh, he's thrown to the ground after clearly being out of bounds. But it's 1971, so the refs aren't going to call everything. There's a delayed handoff to Brown, and he gets a first down. Now Brown averaging over 50 yards a carry after one carry. He's still up over 10 yards a carry, 7 carries for 76 yards. I'll give it to Leroy Kelly. He fights through Stratton. Punished him at the end of that. Stratton's still a big hitter. Handoff. Kelly makes one man miss, comes to the right, breaks a tackle, and then there's 3 more Bills. The Bills had nice pursuit on that play, all kinds of defenders. Kelly did what he could, but came up 3 yards short of the first. Nelson's going to drop back to pass to get this first down. No, he takes off to run. He avoids it. One tackler gets inside the 30 and brought down at the 21-yard line. Nelson now 28 yards on the ground. The Browns in front of their crowd having a great opening drive to start the second half. Nelson fires downfield. That's complete inside the 10. Down all the way to the 5-yard line. That's the first reception from Glass. 9.5 to go. It's been a 5.5 minute drive. Handoff to Leroy Kelly. He goes to the outside, breaks one tackle, makes a move on another guy, and gets caught at the 3-yard line. Now handoff to Bo Scott. That's his 3rd carry, but his worst of the day. He now has 6 yards after 3 carries. 3rd and goal. Bills would really like one more defensive stop here. Nelson's going to try to put it in the end zone. He spins, gets hit, goes forward, so it's not a sack, but he is not in the end zone either. So here we go. A long drive. Took over 7 minutes off the clock, but it's going to result in only 3 points. Kick is up and good. So a long drive by the Browns. The time they took off the clock probably just as important as the 3 points they put up. So we're already halfway through the third quarter. Bills will finally get their first drive of the second half, and they now trail by a full 10 points. They still have less than 0 yards throwing the football. Because of the sacks, they're at negative yardage in the pass department. Total yards 287 to 77. The Browns are starting to open this thing up. Browns are definitely targeting O.J. Simpson. 5 carries, only 9 yards. Harris is going to have to loosen him up with some passes. Instead, he runs right into the defensive line, gets sacked. 3rd and 16. The barking continues in this Cleveland crowd. 3rd and 16 here in the rain. Play action pass. Oh, a beautiful blitz pickup by Jones, but Harris unable to complete downfield. Just 2 of 9 for 10 yards. He's having a rough game. If things don't pick up soon, you might see Shaw come into this game. There's 20, 30. Nice block. Gets up to the 33. One of the better punt returns of the season for the Browns, up to the 34-yard line. So out comes the Browns. They had a terrific drive, even though it halted for just a field goal. They have started to pile up the yards. They're getting close to 300 yards of offensive production now. You feel the Bills' defense cracking and completely stressed for sure, but they're not broken yet. They just need their offense to click at some point and at least get a nice drive together so they can get some rest, if not points. The Browns are going to help them out by false starting. And that'll make it a 2nd and 10. So it's as if they gain nothing on first down. A quick handoff, and the Bills do a nice job of tackling Scott. So that brings up 3rd and 10. Bills defense can help themselves here if they can get a 3 and out. Nelson's got time. Turns, got to go short, expecting Brown to make a lot of people miss, and he doesn't. So Nelson, 14 of 20. That's 70%. He's been around 51 for the year, so 70% definitely a step up for Nelson. Again, he was player of the week in the AFC last week, so Nelson's starting to turn the corner as we were in the second half of the season now. Fair catch at the 22. So the Bills offense needs to do something. The defense has bent and cracked, but it has not broken. And if the offense could just get a scoring drive here, we could have a one-score game in the fourth quarter. You see the Cardinals have gotten it down to a one-score game, but they're still trailing in Tampa Bay. Good Lord, the Giants have opened up a can against the Jets, so the battle for New York doesn't seem to be much of a battle. 23-3. Look at that, the Cardinals. It would be a disaster if they lost to the Semi-Pro. They are in a fight with the 49ers. They have a half-game lead on the 49ers for second place. Of course, trailing the 7-1 Rams, but they're right there for the wild card. Cannot be losing games to semi-pro teams. There's a handoff to Patrick, who slams into the Brown. It seemed like he could have gone to the left and got the first down. He opted to go for the contact because that's the kind of running back he is. He goes into the contact and does push Johnson backwards, but not far enough. Well, they gave it to the power back, and had they given it to the elusive back, he probably goes to the left and gets a first down easily. Bills have to punt again, another 3 and out. Not much rest for the defense, however. The defense forced a 3 and out there last time, so probably got some of their energy back. Two division winners ready to go on Sunday Night Football prime time. Vikings versus Cowboys. See rushing yards, the Bills at 99, the Browns at 150. So Brown again, he now has 9 carries for 78 yards. Nelson on 3rd and 9, going to deliver a pass complete for the first down, but the ball's ripped out of his hands. A fumble recovered by Guidry, and the defense of the Bills gives up the first down. And just when Bills fans are about to hang their head, knowing that that's bad for the stamina of the defense, they come up after the first down's already achieved, comes up, rips the ball out. Guidry picks it up, and the Bills now have great field position and a play that may have just turned this game around. If the Bills can do anything on offense, now's the time with a short field, and they start going backwards. Not ideal, but it was only first down. You can't even make the field goal in this rain from here, so the Bills have got to pull their head out and get some yards. And there's O.J. Simpson. He cuts it back. He gets the first down. Nice run by O.J. Best run of the day for him. Still averaging just 3 yards a carry, but the Bills do get a first down. They have a chance. Oh, they move. Bills continue to shoot themselves in the foot on offense. 5 seconds to go in the third quarter. Bills 28 yards away from making this interesting. Hand up to Patrick. He will slam his way down inside the 20. Okay, the Browns were able to score in every quarter so far, but only 13 total points. The Bills got a field goal on their first drive and nothing since then. 13-3 here as the fourth quarter begins. A big play here of 3rd and 8. Harris needs to make something happen, whether it be with his feet or his arm. Harris. He's going to throw short. That's just not going to get it done. Harris, 3 of 11 for just 10 yards throwing. And now, in the rain, this is not a give me, but it's absolutely needed. 39-yard field goal attempt. Kick is up. And it is good. So Leipold puts it through the uprights, gives the Bills a chance. They turn the turnover into 3 points. Disappointed they didn't get 7, but the forced fumble does get the Bills kind of back into the game. The Lions extend their lead to 13-7 now. Giants are just whooping the Jets. Cardinals still trail to the semi-pro team. There's a handoff to Bo Scott. He gets out to the 40-yard line. Falcons and Saints will decide who's first place in that division later today. Chiefs and Oilers will see who the best team in football is later today. Nelson gets rid of the ball, avoiding the sack. Smart play, 3rd and 4. Colts and Dolphins. Don Shula. Nelson's going to tuck it and try to run, but he does not even get back to the line. It's the second time that he thought he could get past Dunaway, and Dunaway has denied him. So that counts as a sack, and with 12 minutes to go, the Bills will get the ball back. It is a one-score game. It just feels bigger than that because the Bills have not done anything in the air on offense. So they're a one-dimensional offensive team. Packers increase their lead to 10. It looks like they will go ahead and use the semi-pro team for an easy win, which is what he's supposed to do. Harris is going to use his legs here. He's got to protect the ball. He does, and he actually gets pulled down by the face mask so that it looks like a small gain, but when you add the penalty to it, they're going to move all the way up to the 40-yard line. So a 20-yard play in total. That's the first 20 of the 80 that they need. Harris now fires incomplete. Another flag on the play. And now the Bills start moving backwards. Bert Carr, the right guard, called for holding. Harris is going to tuck it and run. Gets across the 35, slides at the 38-yard line. He's now got 44 yards running, only 10 throwing the ball, so he's done more damage with his legs than his arms so far. 2nd and 12. And he's going to tuck it and run again. Across the 40, slides at the 42. Okay, a couple of runs by Harris, but he's going to have to start using his arm at some point. I think the next time he tries that, he might get injured. Okay, there he goes. There's a throw downfield, and the Browns break it up. Briscoe went high in the air to get it, but he had the Browns waiting to punish him while he was in the air. Bills will punt. Morrison, not as good of a return as earlier, but good enough. Sometimes in the rain, you just simply hope for no fumbles. Nelson, ball slips out of his hands. Looked like he was going to throw underneath the Brown. Ball slipped completely out of his hands. It was whistled immediately as incomplete, so no one even went for the ball, thinking it was a fumble. There's a pitch out to Brown. He's got a blocker. 30, 40, a nice block by the offensive lineman who got in front of him, made the play. Brown's second big run of the day. He's at 96 yards now, leading all rushers. Play action pass. Nelson will go short to Bo Scott, who gets the ball ripped out. That's the second time the Bills have forced a fumble. The Bills' defensive backs have been reaching for the ball, knowing the wet conditions. It's the second time they've been able to rip the ball out the receiver's hands. And in fact, it was number 43 again. He has both forced fumbles. He's got a knack for ripping the ball out today. And that's the second turnover, both by the Browns, both fumbles. And now the Bills are just 45 yards away from tying this thing. Harris misfires. Harris having a very hard time. The Bills are actually ranked 7th in passing. I'm a little bit surprised by that. I'm not sure if that's accurate. They're not horrible, but 7th. A little bit surprised. Not today, though. Nowhere near 7th, as they actually have negative yards passing. 3rd and 10. Harris is going to try to run, but instead he gets caught and dropped. Sack number 3 for Jones. 4th and 14. What is the coach going to do? He is going to call for the punt. So the forced fumble turns into no points, but let's see if the punter can get it down deep to the 14. Not bad. So all the forced turnover does is back the Browns up. Now the Bills have to come through on defense again by getting a 3 and out and try to get good field position once again. That's a good start for the Bills, destroying Bo Scott in the backfield. 2nd and 16 now. 8 minutes to go. Browns still leading by 1 touchdown. Nelson's going to throw. Fires downfield. He's got his man at the 20. Picks up more than half the yards. Makes it 3rd and 5, which is manageable. Nelson going to throw again. He's going to fire downfield again, but overthrows everybody. And the Browns will have to punt. Nelson took a shot. The semi-pro team in Tampa Bay has just scored again. The Cardinals are in serious danger of losing a give-me win as they trail by 10, 16-6. That's just insane. Here in this one, the first place Browns lead the last place Bills by a touchdown. And the Bills have done nothing They've done a little bit on the ground, nothing in the air, and are still in the game, though. A good first drive, actually, to get a field goal, then absolutely nothing since then. They got the second field goal on by the defense, forcing a fumble deep in Cleveland territory. But they just need one good drive, could erase all that. Hand off to Jones. He makes a nice move, gets up to the 49-yard line, gets the first down. So that's a start. Still plenty of time for them to run the ball, which is good because they can't seem to throw it. And they're going to play action pass it anyways. Harris fires deep downfield. And did he hang on? The biggest pass play of the day comes in the fourth quarter, a 21-yard throw down to Chandler, his first catch of the game. He has, I'm sure his total catches on the year are probably single digits. Harris goes deep. Nobody was there. He was just throwing it away. 4th and 17. I mean, second and 10 from the 22-yard line. 4 of 17 is Harris. Harris gets hit again. Gregory shares the sack. 8 sacks now for the Cleveland Browns. The barking continues in the crowd. Bills have 2 plays to get to 14 yards here. Fires incomplete. And now a very tough 4th and 14 coming up. The Bills, in remarkable fashion, are going for a field goal, down by 7 with only 5 minutes to go. Kick is up, and it is good, so Leipold does his job. He may have been questioning why he was out there, but he can't worry about the coach's job. He just got to do his job. He does it, gets the 3 points. I guess the Bills' defense has been very good after that first drive that the Browns had in the second half. The Bills' defense has allowed nothing since then. In fact, they forced 2 turnovers. Maybe that's what the coach is thinking. Let's make it 13-9. Force another turnover and win this thing in regulation, but very odd. 4th and 14 would have been hard to get. I guess it was probably just because it was so far. With the passing ineptness that the Bills have had, 4th and 14 was just too much to take a gamble on, I guess, so they took the 3 points while they could get them. And now the Cardinals trail by 14. It's 20-6. Semi-pro team over the Cardinals. What is happening to the Cardinals? Cardinals started off 4-0, and now they've had a lot of struggles. Still in second place, though, but if they lose to a semi-pro team, probably eliminate them as a serious team. Play action pass. Nelson looking deep. This is a put-away throw, but the Bills defend it. The Bills defend the throw, and with 4 minutes to go, the Browns have run 60 plays. And, he has problems with the punt. It's blocked. The Bills blocked the punt. It's picked up and returned into the end zone. And the coach is an absolute genius now. I question what he was thinking, but Leipold makes the field goal to get it 13-9. Then the Bills come up. They do their job on defense, forcing a 3-and-out. And then the punt is blocked, picked up, and returned for a touchdown. Not sure how he knew that was going to happen. Richardson with a great block. And the Bills have forced 3 turnovers now and scored 10 points off of those 3 turnovers and lead the game 16-13. And this crowd is shocked. There's no more barking from the fans. They are just almost silent. You see you can hear a couple groans, but for the most part, it's dead silent. Now they're trying to cheer up there to put some fire in the kick returners' belly, I guess, but they cannot believe stunned moments here in Cleveland. They have almost 200 more yards than the Bills, but they are trailing the game in an instant. And the punt is blocked and returned for a touchdown. The first place Browns trail the last place Bills by 3. Nelson now comes out. He's not just throwing for fun. He needs to come back now. They pitch it out to, is it Turner? Cornell. Cornell's first carry of the game comes with the game on the line, basically, in the fourth quarter. It was a good run, though. He got a first down and got out of bounds. The Browns need just a field goal to tie it. Nelson drops back. He fires short. Bills are all over it. Tackle inbounds. 3:15 to go. The Browns led the game led for most of the game. Bills grabbed a 3-0 lead. Then it was all Browns for a while, but the Bills have come roaring back. The Bills are dead last, and that includes semi-pro teams in sacks. They've got the least amount of sacks in football, but they have sacked Nelson 3 times today. 3rd and 9, pitch. On 3rd and 9, the Browns run. That's how confident they are in the run game, but it doesn't work at all. And so now 4th and 11, 2-minute warning. The Browns have 3 timeouts, but because that was a run play and the clock goes down to 2-minute warning, they have to go for it. Nelson's going to need to be a hero on this throw. Drops back. No pressure as usual from the Bills, and Nelson misses his target downfield. So the Bills take over. Well, the thing they do well is run the ball at both these teams, but the Bills much better at running than passing today. Oh ho ho! Jones tried to rip that out of Patrick's hands, but Patrick does a good job holding onto the ball and getting down. So timeout number 1. Browns have 2 remaining. There's a handoff to, I think it was Patrick again. Down he goes. 3rd and 7. I don't think you throw here. I think you just take away the last timeout. That's a handoff to Jones. He gets taken down in the backfield. The coach doesn't care. He's already made his controversial calls, and it paid off. He's got the lead now. He decides to take away the Browns' timeouts. And let's see how good of a punt he gets here. Special teams have been the friend of the Bills coach today. Leipold a perfect 3 for 3. Kicking field goals. Jones with another solid punt. And, of course, the big punt block for a touchdown was the biggest play of the game. And now you push Nelson back to his own 7-yard line with no timeouts. Nelson drops back and misses on his first. You always want to get that first completion out of the way. They can use the middle of the field, but you would like to get chunk yards. 4 yards in the middle of the field is about the worst thing you could do right now. Nelson throws, gets the first down. You got to get at least first downs if you're going to use the middle of the field. That's the first one. You want to get at least to the 35 on this one if it's middle of the field. Fires downfield, up across the 30, okay. And now again, you go 14, 15 yards up the middle, or you go sidelines. Ooh, that's a short pass. That's too short. That's not going to get it done. Down to 37 seconds. Nelson's got to start going sidelines, I think. There's a throw to the sidelines, but it's incomplete. Okay, clock does stop. If you're a Browns fan, you want a 15-yard play that ends out of bounds. If you're a Bills fan, you want a sack. Nelson, ball comes out of his hand weird. And that will bring up 4th down. 4th and 6. This is the game. Browns need a first down to hang on. You need the first down, so you go over the middle if you need to, whatever it takes. Nelson fires. Oh, it was dropped. He was thinking about getting out of bounds, which had he caught it, he probably is able to get across midfield and out of bounds. But he was so worried about catching and moving that he didn't watch it all the way into his hands. That counts as a drop, and the Browns are going to look at this. Oh, he just drops it. Bills raised their arms in celebration. What a win for the Buffalo Bills. Out of nowhere, they came and stole this, and Harris did not look good throwing the ball at all, but he does move his record as a starting quarterback to 2-1. So I don't know. I thought for sure Shaw was coming in at some point in this game. They stayed with Harris. He really had nothing to do with the win, but they won anyways. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Does he start his fourth consecutive game next week? They beat a first-place team. So, I don't know. Browns destroy the Bills in the passing game and beat them in the running game, but the Bills force 3 turnovers and steal this one in Cleveland, 16-13. What a game. You never know what you're going to get in Sack to the Future, especially here in 1971. Thanks for watching. Join us again later the next game. Well, let's see. I will probably... I'm actually... All right, so I believe tonight I am going to most likely show the Oilers and Chiefs. I am uncertain, though, if it will be computer announcers or if I will be able to announce that as well. I'll figure out what's going on, but either way, if you want to see the 8-1 Chiefs against the 8-1 Oilers, that will be on. After just a few minute break here. But again, I may just play it and watch it and not commentate at all. So we will see you back shortly. Have a good day. Thanks for watching. And Sack to the Future rolls on week number 10. See you next time.